Hey guys, this week we've got a special edition of 60 Seconds. It'll probably go a bit longer because we have just got the release of the Xbox, the next box, and it's got the name Xbox One. Good name. If you watched the release, you'll understand why it's called that. I'm not going to really go through all that, but I'd just like to give some information of what was released. Okay, so I've got a list behind me, which is it'll help me get through it without any mistakes. So we've got fees for transporting your accounts between Xboxes. Not always online, which was good. There was rumours that the Xbox would always be online. All games are pre-installed, so you need to buy the disc, use the disc to install the game, but then you won't need that disc again. All the games will be installed on the device, which is a bit confusing because the Xbox One has only got a hard drive of 500 gigabytes, and a Blu-ray game could be anywhere up to 30 gigs. So this is going to store up quite fast, and there may be need for external hard drives. A bit of news on Sony: their stock actually went up 9% after the release of the Xbox. So positive news for them. Halo, they announced that the next installment will be a TV series in conjunction with Steven Spielberg. Not sure what he's going to be doing, whether or not it's directing or just a producer. My guess is he'll be a executive producer, so he'll just sign off on everything and maybe occasionally do a episode here and there directing. Subscription possibly becoming more expensive with the use of external TV sites, say services like Netflix and ESPN. These all might actually be included when you buy an Xbox, but it could possibly increase your expenses when actually subscribing for it. A few games confirmed. You got Battlefield 4, Call of Duty Ghost. We had Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Forza 5. These are just a few games. That was the most disappointing thing about the conference. There was very few games released. I think they only released close to about 8 games, if that. And most of these were EA games, just so sports, which we already knew were coming. We didn't really need to know anything about it. Okay, so what else we got? The release will be later this year around the world. They didn't specify what time, what date. It was just a really general, it'll be released. There was no price also released, which makes me think that it is going to be very expensive, more expensive than we expected, and it could break over the $500 mark. Now, the biggest thing about the conference was that, well, my biggest issue was that there was no talk about any other continent other than America. This was a conference designed for the American market. There was very little talk about features that may help out in the European market or the Australian market. There was nothing. It was all catered towards the US, and it was very heavy catered towards the US with their fantasy football apps and just Netflix. It was all catered towards them. I think this was a terrible move by Microsoft, and that it's definitely putting off a lot of people from wanting this device because it doesn't show features that cater towards these different markets. The Xbox will always need the Kinect to be plugged in. It won't work unless there is a Kinect plugged in, but all Xboxes will ship with a Kinect. So, and huge mistake, which surely can't be too hard, is that there is no backwards compatibility. That means all the games everyone's gone out and bought, they won't work. You've got to keep your 360 or your Xbox 360 Slim. You need those to play those games. So this is just Microsoft trying to make more money You have to rebuy your Modern Warfare 3. You got to rebuy your Black Ops that you've just bought. You got to rebuy Skyrim. All these massive games that you've gone out and spent $90 on, and you have to rebuy them. Something I'm sure wouldn't have been too hard to fix. Questions that I'd like asked at answered at E3 are how much, of course, that's the main one. How much is this going to cost? Is it going to break the bank? Or is there going to be a cheaper version that won't break the bank? Need to see more games. That is just a must. We need to see the games because there was no gameplay footage. There was only trailers, and we don't want to see that. We've already seen trailers. Who cares? I'd like to see a live demo, someone actually playing the console, which, I mean, that's a given. It's going to happen, but it'll be nice to see that. I'd like more information about the controller, what new features they are. There was 2 buttons on that they didn't explain, so I'd like to see what those buttons do. And just when it's going to be released. Surely that'll happen. I'm hoping it'll happen. What else have we got? And yeah, I think the main one is I also want to see gameplay. I want to see this console in use, and I want to see what graphics are like in game, because they showed that with the PlayStation 4. Sony showed how it looked, and it looked good. It showed the improvement, but we haven't seen that from the Xbox. All we've seen in trailers, and it's hard to judge whether or not a trailer has been they've added the resolution, they've made it look better, but whether or not that transfers into the game. I think that's the biggest issue. You can't tell that from a trailer. So yeah, there's the news on the Xbox One, and looking forward to E3 in 3 weeks. Guys, please like, share, and subscribe.